This topic is solving a word problem on proportions using a unit rate. This first problem says, suppose that 18 inches of wire costs 54 cents. At that same rate, how much in cents will 13 inches of wire cost? To solve this, we're going to set up what's called a proportion. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 18 inches over 54 cents, and then we're going to write an equivalent fraction that is equal to the same thing, because then it will have the same rate. It would be simplified to the same cents per inch. So we're going to do the same thing, except this one's going to be 13 inches of wire, and we don't know its cost, so we're just going to put question mark cents. So I know the cost per inch is going to be equal on both sides of this equation, so all I need to do is now solve it. And my recommendation, anytime you're working with a proportion, is simplify wherever possible. So in this case, I can simplify this by dividing by 6 over 6, and I get 3 over 9, and then I can simplify even more and get 1 over 3. So now I can rewrite my proportion again. 1 over 3 equals 13 over what? And it looks like I multiplied by 13 on the top, so I'm going to multiply by 13 on the bottom, and I get 39 cents. Our next example says Charmaine drove 335 miles in 5 hours. At the same rate, how many miles would she drive in 13 hours? I'm going to put the smaller number on top. It doesn't really matter which number you put on top, because in this case, we're talking about hours and miles, and we're going to set up the right side the same way, hours and miles, 13 hours, and we don't know how many miles. Again, whenever possible, simplify. And I can divide by 5 over 5 here, because that is one whole. I don't know what 335 divided by 5 is, so I'm going to go ahead and work that out. Looks like it's going to be 67. So 1 over 67. Now I'm going to rewrite my proportion. 1 over 67 equals 13 over what? Just like on the last one, it looks like I multiplied by 13 for the numerator. So I'm going to do the same thing for the denominator, and then go ahead and multiply this out. 18 and 2 is 20, 7, 6. So it looks like our answer is 871 miles. And one more example. This one says Rachel drove 603 miles in 9 hours. At the same rate, how long would it take her to drive 737 miles? I'm going to put the smaller one on top. Again, it doesn't really matter as long as you match up your units on each side of your equation here. So we're looking for how long, so that's how many hours, and 737 miles will go on the bottom. What I'm saying is match up miles with miles over here. Don't put miles on the top, or your proportion won't be equal. Because these are really just fractions. This fraction here is exactly the same as this fraction right here. That means the number of miles per hour on the left is going to be equal to the same miles per hour on the right. I do think I can simplify on the left-hand side by dividing by 9 over 9. 603 divided by 9. 9 times 6 is 54. And then we're going to have 63, so it'll be 67. So 1 over 67. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this proportion. 1 over 67 equals blank over 737. And I'm hoping 67 is going to go into 737. So let's find out. And yay, it looks like it will. It will go in exactly 11 times. So we're going to multiply by 11 over 11. And that's a pretty easy one to do, because 1 times 11 is 11. So it'll be 11 hours.